Hey everyone, how's it going? It's me, Alfredo, Dr. Carlos, the Executive Director for the Foundation for Economic Democracy. I know that you all haven't heard from us in a while, at least not over email. Um, and that's for a couple of reasons. Last year, we finished out some of the programs we were working on. We had a couple interns. We were doing a community wealth community sort of assessment survey on economic democracy. We had an office, we had a staff of one plus some volunteers, and in that process, we learned a lot. It was sort of a trial run about sort of how nonprofits work. And one of the things that happened, we the grant ended, and we chose. I personally made a decision to, and I chose not to pursue more grants along those lines. We were able to get some good information about what people sort of understand in Long Beach around concept of economic democracy and worker cooperatives. But we used our funding to pay rent. We used our funding to pay staff, and I made a conscious decision not to chase grant money, particularly around the sort of requirements of when you get grant money, you have to spend a lot of time doing reporting, and you have to do the project the way that the funding agency sort of wants you to do it. And so I took some time to reflect on our process and what we wanted to do moving forward. And I'll be honest with you, I was personally go through struggles, personal life struggles. I know that we have some people who are committed to our cause and have continued to donate. That money are the funds that I've been sort of collecting for the nonprofit that we've been collecting are still there. We're going to use them. We're going to continue to use them for projects. We're currently have an internship program going again. That's going to be a regular project that we have. We're going to try and develop young leaders to advance the mission of economic democracy, and particularly our foundation to work with regional partners. I've been working on continuing to develop our partnerships in the area. We work with the LA Co-op Lab. We're looking forward to working with them further, developing and expanding economic democracy in the LA area, particularly. Um, we're trying to develop young leaders. We're working with another organization, the director of the political director of another organization here in Long Beach, to put out an organizing institute where we're actually already put together a couple of workshops. We're trying to develop more organizing capacity for people to do this economic democracy work. And long term, we're also sort of one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to think about what the needs are in doing this work on economic democracy. And one of the biggest needs is how do we finance it? And so I have been in conversations with some folks who are interested in this piece, particularly a lawyer who does cooperative. He's a securities lawyer who also is interested in cooperatives. But one of the biggest hardships for us advancing this work is figuring out how to finance this work, community land trust, and how to finance, cooperative development. And so what one of the approaches that I'm taking with that is we're really building out our community wealth building project. And our community wealth building project really involves several things. Particularly, we want to provide just individuals, anybody, the basic skills on how do you keep the money you make. That's massively important. Like, we work really hard for our money. How do we learn to keep our money that we make, and how to keep corporations from taking it from us in the form of interest? So learning just basic financial education. But really, the goal is how do we have financial success individually so that collectively we have our collective wealth, community wealth, that is able to finance these kind of projects. And really, that's kind of where I see some of our work going, at least in the near future, is to develop out that project specifically in developing like a private equity. I have friends, we're all professionals. We have money. We have money that's invested in the stock market, that sort of thing. And how do we take some of that money out of speculative Wall Street investments, and how do we put it into investment vehicles that can help communities? Well, one of the problems is that those investment vehicles don't exist. And so one of the things I've been working out is how do we develop that kind of investment infrastructure, where we can collect investments that people that are interested in doing community investments. How do we collect that money and and basically start a what's known as a private equity firm to actually like give some people some return on their investment, but at the same time make sure that our investments are targeted into supporting and helping communities fight gentrification, fight like do. So it's basically thinking about how do we develop working class investments. And so these are some of the projects that like I have been sort of tinkering with and thinking through how to do these moving forward. And so hopefully you'll be hearing more from us, in the future about how this is going to sort of take place. But basically, I just wanted to give you guys an update. I know that you haven't heard from us in a while, and I apologize for that. Part of like that I said is like personal struggles. Father, I'm a full time professor, and the nonprofit is like sort of like a not I don't want to call it a side project, but it's a baby, but at the same time, like no excuses. Moving forward, I want to keep you guys in the loop. The best way to do that is to sort of tune into our Instagram account, and we'll send out some more regular emails now that we have interns again. Obviously, COVID-19 has interrupted a lot of the work that we were sort of planning, but just wanted to recap. We're doing the community wealth building project, which involves just basic community education, but also figuring out this financing piece. So separately from that, but connected to that, is trying to figure out how we can come together to invest collectively in supporting community-based projects as forms of investment that have a return on investment, so we can pull some of our money out of Wall Street, especially in times right now where I don't want to get into the politics of it, but COVID-19 is having a massive negative effect on our communities, and Wall Street is still benefiting. The stock market went up; they're doing fantastic because they're getting bailed out. But Main Street working people are not getting bailed out. So part of that is we got to figure out better places to put our money where we still get a return on investment, but it's also supporting workers and supporting our communities. And so that one's going to take a little bit longer to sort of roll out, but we're starting with our community wealth building project, teaching basic financial education and wellness, developing a financial philosophy, how does credit and debt work. Today I did a webinar on car buying and tips and tricks on basics on how to buy cars. I'm going to do another one on investments in a couple of weeks, and we're going to roll these out, and we're going to probably do some webinars on this online through Google Hangouts. We were going to do community workshops, but since we can't really go anywhere right now, that's what we're going to do. And eventually financing this piece, and then also looking for projects in the community where people want to start co-ops. And that's been really slow because we have to develop the knowledge base, we have to develop the capacity. I know of these things, but I'm not a business expert. Like I dabbled in businesses before. But we have to develop capacity of what a business needs to survive in any kind of environment. And so we're working on these slowly. And so I just wanted to check in with y'all. Hope y'all are doing well. Stay safe out there. There'll be more information sort of forthcoming. Our interns are actually working on amazing projects. On a couple of them I want to highlight is we're developing toolkits to help young high school kids like learn how to throw themselves a college shower. You guys know what a baby shower is? Same idea. We come together as community, support like a new baby in the family, a new baby in the community. Well, let's get together and support our youth, like accomplishing, being able to get into college or going to college. It's really expensive, and we come together for a lot of other things like funerals in our communities, quinceañeras, that kind of stuff. Let's come together to support success in our communities. Another one that I think is related to that is let's help people. We're developing toolkits to help people throw themselves college reveal parties. You ever heard of a baby gender reveal party? It's similar to that, except without the problematics of binary genders. In this context, is when our students get into college, whether it's undergrad or grad school. Like grad school is really expensive also. So we want to help people throw themselves parties to celebrate their success, and at the same time help them with collective fundraising efforts to help them get to where they want to go. And hopefully through this process, we can also educate them on economic democracy, and we can sort of move our missions forward, and they can become part of our Foundation for Economic Democracy family, and contribute in a lot of other ways. So we're developing all these different projects. Suffice it to say that we have been doing some work. I know we haven't been great at keeping in touch, and I'll take personal responsibility that that's my bad. But moving forward, I'm hoping at least with short videos like this, where we check in from time to time, that we can stay in touch. And we want to thank all of our supporters. We greatly appreciate just even just from the moral support. I obviously want to appreciate the financial support that we're getting from some of our donors who continue to donate. But really the moral support, I think, is above and beyond. The fact that you all still believe in the work that we want to do in the world that we want to build, it means so much to me, and it means so much to the people who like interact with the nonprofit. And from youth people who are really interested in advancing this work moving forward and wanting to become a part of it. And we thank all of you, and we'll talk to you soon. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Y'all know our contact information. If it's not, go to our website. You can hit up our Instagram. You can there's all kinds of places you can sort of get in contact with us. I'm more than happy to answer any questions, schedule meetings. If you guys want to sit down and have coffee, I'm down. I just want to say that, and also stay safe out there with COVID-19. Be careful. Hopefully things return not to normal, but hopefully better than normal. Hopefully we return to a world where we can make lasting change. Take care.